Clearly, the Economic Action Plan proved the power of partnership and provided a model for federal-municipal cooperation, one that the Government of Canada has embraced for its current efforts to develop a long-term infrastructure plan. I'll have more to say about that in a moment. J'en viens donc au plus récent rapport de la FCM, l'État des villes et des collectivités du Canada en 2012. Comme je l'ai dit tantôt, les récents investissements du gouvernement fédéral ont eu des retombées très avantageuses pour nos collectivités et pour notre pays. En plus de combattre efficacement la récession, ils ont permis aux gouvernements locaux de réaliser leurs projets d'infrastructure les plus urgents. While it's clear in FCM's first annual State of Cities and Communities report that recent federal investments have clearly benefited our communities and our country, what is less clear, however, is how much we have done to fix the root causes that led to years of decline in our cities and communities. That is the purpose of this report, to help us understand the underlying health of Canada's cities and communities in 2012. Given the scope and complexity of the question, this report does not claim to be comprehensive or to give the last word on the issue. It is just one contribution to an important and pressing conversation. The report is structured in two parts. Part one reviews the fundamental causes of the growing challenges that have played out in Canada's cities and communities over the past 25 years. It looks at the progress Canada has made in addressing these issues and examines current trends to see where our cities and our communities are headed and what new challenges they will face. Part two looks at the state of intergovernmental cooperation in Canada and reviews the progress Canada has made on that front. So, what does the report show? For one, it reveals that recent progress has gone deeper than just treating symptoms. It has given us the ingredients for a cure. Those ingredients, as I have mentioned, include sustained, predictable investments that local governments can plan for, and a formal role for the municipal sector in areas where all governments have a role serving Canadians. But it also shows that these recent gains are at risk, and that they will disappear unless we formalize the key ingredients for the cure. So what's at stake without that cure? To begin with, federal investments worth billions of dollars annually to cities and communities will dry up in 2014, with the scheduled expiry of the Building Canada Plan. These represent more than a third of all federal funding for municipalities, and they are not one-time stimulus dollars. They are core investments to repair roads, house low-income seniors, and keep police on our streets. Our report shows that the expiring programs will result in a significant drop in federal reinvestment in cities and communities from 1.8% of all federal revenues in 2013 to 1.1% by 2016. That 0.7% difference might not seem like much, but it adds up to billions of dollars that support essential municipal services. Looking out over the long term, the Gas Tax Fund, the only federal permanent program that supports municipal infrastructure, will see nearly 50% of its value eroded by inflation within 20 years. Meanwhile, new and growing challenges are constantly emerging in our communities. Rising public safety costs, extreme weather caused by a changing climate, and a housing market that grows less affordable and more dysfunctional by the day. All of these are discussed in our report highlights document that we've provided for you today and are detailed in chapters 4, 5, and 6 of the report. And on your tables, you actually see a tent card that if you scan it after 12:45, you can get a full copy of the report downloaded for you to read when you get back to the offices later today. Dans quelle direction devrions-nous maintenant nous engager? Que réserve l'avenir aux villes et aux collectivités de notre pays? Dans les deux cas, c'est à notre pays d'en décider. Nous pouvons poursuivre la reconstruction de nos villes et de nos collectivités, mais si nous en décidons autrement, le Canada perdra constamment du terrain, affaibli par des routes en ruine et congestionnées et le coût faramineux de logements qui mineront son économie et sont un attrait pour les investisseurs. As we go forward, I don't believe anybody in this room, or anyone in this country for that matter, wants to see Canada's cities and communities fall behind. As we go forward, the solution for our nation's cities and communities must include a guarantee that a fair and predictable share of what Canadians pay in taxes will come back to our communities. And while money is important, we need more than money. We also need all governments working together in partnership to build healthy, sustainable, competitive communities. Progress will depend on whether we learn from our past successes and our failures. The first and most important step is for all orders of government to work together on a long-term infrastructure plan that will fill the void left by the expiring Building Canada plan in 2014. I can't stress how important it is that the federal government has promised to develop a new long-term infrastructure plan. The new plan must turn around the long decline in our municipal infrastructure and pave the way for proper planning and sustainable funding to rebuild and maintain our country's economic foundations. Beyond funding, the long-term infrastructure plan must be a new model for practical partnership between governments and set the stage for similar cooperation on priority areas such as policing and public safety, housing, and the environment. These partnerships must emphasize a common sense approach to solving our problems through greater cooperation, better planning, and better programs. Now that's what you call smarter government. Yes, there will be the naysayers that say these partnerships can be challenging. Absolutely. But I would argue that anything worthwhile is. And more importantly, the Economic Action Plan proved that these kinds of partnerships actually can work. When the global economic crisis hit in 2008, the federal government called on municipalities to turn its stimulus plan into action. Together with the provinces and territories, we created the hundreds of thousands of jobs and made Canada a world leader in fighting the economic downturn. We've shown that this model of cooperation can get results and make Canada and our cities and communities stronger. As I said, Canada has emerged from the economic downturn strong and ready to face its challenges. Yes, the global economic situation continues to be worrisome. But by expecting better and working together to achieve better, we can begin to address traffic gridlock, out-of-reach housing, and boil water advisories. We can also prepare for our future by innovating today. The jobs of tomorrow will not only require investment in the traditional infrastructure, but also investments in broadband, in culture, in the green economy and transit, if we want to see those jobs in our country tomorrow. And by making those investments, we can build stronger cities and communities and a stronger and globally more competitive Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, quite simply, the state of our cities, our communities, and our country depends on it. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Economic Club of Canada, I would like to thank Barry for taking the time out of his very busy schedule to come and give us a first-hand knowledge of the State of Canada's Cities and Communities report. If we hope to build on recent gains, we certainly do need to measure and report our progress, and he has done just that. Your remarks have highlighted the importance of communities, not only for our economy, but for our families and for our future. Barry, you are correct. We need to ensure we are doing more than treating the symptoms of a deeper sickness and continue building on a stronger Canada. I hope as we depart from today's luncheon, harnessed with the new knowledge, we can collectively continue this dialogue. I would like to thank our official media sponsor, the Hill Times, Porter Airlines, and of course a big thank you to all of you. If you haven't done so already, please leave us your business cards on the way out, as we would love to keep you informed of future Economic Club events. Thank you and enjoy your lunch.